151 games, 2,500 innings across the Ripken League has led us to this. The same place we were last year and the year before, but that's all right because they say all good things come in three. Tonight, Bethesda and Alexandria begin their LCS battle for a third consecutive summer. Faces and names have changed, but the logos remain the same. Hurd and Williams look to keep the big train offense rolling, while Nicholson and Austin Fort look to turn the tables one final time. 3 games to decide it all. 2 teams prepare for battle, and 1 title will be won. The Aces look to go back-to-back, while the big train try and get back on top. Welcome to the Cal Ripken League Championship Series. Let the trilogy begin. And with that, we welcome you to Frank Mann Field in Alexandria, Virginia. The championship series begins now. Adam Glover, I'm Eli Kleinman. The Aces at home, the big train on the road. 3 games will determine who is the Cal Ripken champions this summer. Let's give you the Bethesda Big Train starting lineup, 23-13, the record. Dixon Williams leads things off. 7 RBIs yesterday in the win. Dean Twigo bats second. He hit a 2-run blast last night, and Jeffrey Hurd hits third. Teddy Ruffner in the cleanup spot, and Jacob Orr hits 5th. Jason Schiavone bats 6th. It's Jack Guerrero, Connor Rasmussen, and Casey Bishop who round things out. And for Alexandria on the other side, we give you their defense from left to right in the outfield. Hamilton, Gregory Wade, Miller at third, Grego at short, Taylor at second, Austin Ford at first, and Nicholson behind the dish. It's Anthony Ely, the Seton Hall product, on the mound, and the right-hander gets the ball in game 1. A toasty 90-degree afternoon. As we turn to evening, we get the championship series underway. The first pitch to Dixon Williams is a fastball just below the knees, a ball and no strikes.
Ely has big strikeout numbers on this season, so the big train.
It's the 1-0, another fastball down below the knees, 2 balls and no strikes.
They're going to have to be patient at the plate. Ely's got 4 really good pitches, 2 breaking balls, the fastball and the changeup.
Winds in the 2-0, another fastball down in the dirt. Nicholson, the catcher, able to scoop it up, but it's 3 balls and no strikes to the leadoff man. Williams, one of the best days of the summer last night, and he takes ball 4 outside on the fastball. A leadoff walk gets things started. He's aboard for Dean Twigo. Ely with a 3.00 ERA. Coming into the postseason, this is his first start on the biggest stage. Twigo, the lefty with the open stance, in the first pitch finds the inside corner. Called to strike, 0-1, and that's the first strike of the day for Anthony Ely. Tall righty set on the mound to look over to first. Good speed with Williams, 0-1. And Twigo watches a fastball off the outside, a ball and a strike.
And Dean had a couple of really good at-bats yesterday, including a 2-run home run and a 5-run 7th inning that helped the big train go on top 10-7.
1-1, breaking ball outside, delayed steal. It's into center field on the throw from Nicholson. Williams pops up from second and heads over to third. And the big train have a runner 90 feet away with nobody out in the top of the first.
Dixon, maybe the fastest runner on this big train team. We saw him steal home yesterday, so second base should be a little bit easier for him, and then gets the extra 90 feet with the poor throw.
2 balls and a strike to Twigo, looking to give the big train the lead. 2-1. He takes a fastball, called a strike on the lower inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That home run you mentioned from last night in the 6th inning gave the big train the lead for good. Looking to give the big train the lead early in game 1. Tonight, 2-2. He hits it in the air, right side. Back goes the right fielder, Wade. Looks up, and he does it again. Dean Twigo goes deep in the top of the first, and it's an early 2-0 lead for the big train.
Well, they got a fastball on the inside part of the plate, and Dean Twigo heating up. Had 2 home runs in the final home game of the regular season, and now 2 here in the postseason. That's now for the big train. 6 home runs in the postseason.
So early offense for the Big Train and an early 2-0 lead on the road as Jeffrey Hurd steps up with nobody on and nobody out. And Ely winds and deals, and a first pitch fastball finds the outer part of the zone. No balls and a strike. The leadoff walk, then the 2-run homer. 0-1. Hurd takes outside with a fastball, a ball and a strike. Ely with his white pants about 4 inches above his shoe tops. You can see the stirrup socks beneath. 1-1, Hurd pops it up. Left side of the infield, Miller, the third baseman, calls off the shortstop, Grego, and he drifts to his left and makes the catch for out number 1. Big Train have never trailed at Frank Mann Field so far this summer. In the 2 games they've played in Alexandria, they have now outscored the Aces, the league's best team, 13-0. First pitch to Ruffner. And the slider misses just outside. A ball and no strikes. Ruffner, the cleanup hitter. 2 for 10 in the postseason. 1-0. Pops it up behind home plate, and it gets out of play. It's a ball and a strike. One pitch, and the fastball zips onto the outside corner, called a strike. A ball and 2 strikes to Ruffner. Newest member of Youngstown State, transferred from UNC Wilmington this summer. 1-2. Ruffner hits a slider on the ground right side, under the glove of the first baseman, Austin Fort, and into right field for a base hit. Ruffner runs through the base and then takes a loopy turn around the bag. He stands at first with a 1-out single for Jacob Orr.
Yeah, Teddy Ruffner's been heating up at the plate. That one, a ball in on his hands that he was just able to get the bat around on, got jammed and was able to shoot it through that right side. Austin Ford over at first, originally moving towards the bag, then realizing he was the only one who had a chance at it. And by that point, the ball already passed him.
First pitch to the righty Orr, and the slider spins outside. A ball and no strikes. The red batting gloves on the green bat. Stares towards the mound. 1-0. Fastball down below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. And the veteran catcher Tim Nicholson, in his second summer with Alexandria, calls time and heads out to the mound to chat with Ely. Big Train lead 2-0 in the top of the first. Game 1 of this championship series. Best of 3. And winning Game 1 would give the Big Train home field advantage and a chance to clinch at Shirley Povich Field tomorrow night. Ruffner off of first, 2-0 to Orr. Line drive into center field. It lands in front of the center fielder, Gregory, for a base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Big Train, and they look to add on. Runners at first and second with only 1 down. Brings up Jason Schiavone. With runners at first and second and only 1 out, and Ely in trouble once again. Faces the righty catcher for the Big Train. First pitch home, and Schiavone takes a fastball called a strike on the inside part of the plate, 0-1. The wind blowing straight out to center field as the flag flies proudly in the wind. 0-1. Schiavone pops it up right behind home plate and into the middle fence. That protects the seats. So no balls and 2 strikes with only 1 out. Schiavone, a part of the team last summer that lost in 2 games to the Aces in this championship series. 0-2. And the slider well upstairs above the letters on his chest. They spell Big Train, the Big Train wearing their green home uniforms on the road today in Alexandria. One, 2. And Schiavone taps it foul behind the plate. The count remains a ball and 2 strikes. On deck stands the first baseman, Jack Guerrero.
Schiavone here has to, at the very least, try to get both Ruffner and Orr over, see if they can get Guerrero up to bring them both in.
Ely a look back at second. 1-2 home. And Schiavone, watch out, takes a fastball high and inside and drops to the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Schiavone takes a second to resettle. Schiavone 3 for 13 against the Aces this summer. And a couple games played. 1-2. Slider, Schiavone hits it high and deep left field. Back goes Hamilton. All he can do is watch it fly. It's a 5-run inning for the big train in the top of the first. Jason Schiavone goes deep, and it's a big 5-0 lead. Second home run of the inning.
That was a hanging breaking ball, and Schiavone's not going to miss that one. The bat heating up for him here in the postseason. Smiles as he crosses home plate, and a huge inning now for Bethesda.
Second home run of the inning. And with only 1 out, the big train have put a 5 spot underneath the 1 on the scoreboard in left field. The lefty Guerrero at the plate, and the fastball misses outside. A ball and no strikes.
Yeah, Ely doesn't have command of anything right now. The changeup isn't really moving. The fastball is left over the middle of the plate too often.
1-0, up and away, outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Guerrero.
So we tried to start working the breaking ball a little bit more, but it was just a slider that was hung, and Schiavone shows off the power.
2-0, Guerrero hits a high fly ball down the left field line. Long run for Hamilton, and he reaches up on the warning track and makes the catch before he crashes into the outfield fence. A really nice play for out number 2 on a hard hit ball by Guerrero.
And it's 3:08 down the left field line here at Frank Mann Field, so it doesn't take much to get it out of here, but Guerrero showing off the opposite field power on a high fastball.
2 outs, nobody on, and Connor Rasmussen, the left-handed hitting shortstop, to the plate. Takes a first pitch fastball above the shoulders, a ball and no strikes. Taps his bat on the plate, rests it above his left shoulder. 1-0. Swings and hits a little chopper down the first baseline. Ely, the pitcher, off the mound, fields on a couple hops, and an underhand flip to first in time for out number 3. But the big train start the championship series off with fireworks, a pair of home runs, and a 5-0 lead. We head to the bottom of the first from Frank Mann Field. The Aces come to bat for the first time. To the bottom of the first we go, and the Aces come to bat. The lineup provided by the manager for Alexandria, Chris Bursitt. 30-6 their record in the regular season. They are the 1 seed in this postseason tournament and have home field advantage. Here's their lineup. Tim Nicholson, the catcher, leads things off. R.J. Hamilton follows, and the hero of the semifinal series for the Aces, Gavin Miller, bats third. He went 5-4-7. with 3 RBIs and 4 runs scored. Jorna Oster hits in the cleanup spot, and Matt Austin Ford hits 5th. Corey Taylor hits 6th. Nick Gregory bats 7th. Dylan Grego hits 8th, and Alex Wade hits 9th. Here's the defense for the big train. From left to right in the outfield, Orr, Twigo, and Hurd. Williams at 3rd, Rasmussen at short, Bishop at 2nd, and Guerrero for the second night running at first base. Schiavone once again does the catching for his left-handed pitcher from San Jose State, Jesse Gutierrez. Gutierrez with a 3.14 ERA and 7 starts. 28 and 2/3 innings, and looking to protect this 5-0 lead the Big Train have built for him in the top of the first.
And the story of his last start was that big 7-run inning for the T-Bolts. 5 of them were credited to Gutierrez.
First pitch to Nicholson, and the fastball misses downstairs in the dirt. A ball and no strikes.
Big Train would still win that game 11-8, which would be a huge game for them.
1-0, and the fastball catches the outside corner. A ball and a strike.
Would help them win the North Division, but a game not typical Jesse Gutierrez.
1-1. Nicholson hits a hot shot down the first baseline. It's a fair ball, and it rolls into the corner. Gets the wave from Jen Hammond, the first base coach. Nicholson off for second. Takes a big turn and heads for third. The throw from the cutoff man, Bishop, is late. It's a leadoff triple for Tim Nicholson, and exactly how the Aces needed to respond in the bottom of the first, trailing by 5.
And went right down that right field line. No chance for Jack Guerrero over at first to make a play, and it rolled all the way into the corner. Took a bit for Jeffrey Hurd in right field to make his way over to it. Nicholson, great speed, easily gets into third base.
So he creeps down the third base line as R.J. Hamilton, the left fielder, steps to the plate. A right-handed hitter waits on the first pitch, and a fastball paints the zone at the knees. No balls and a strike. Hamilton with the light blue and white batting gloves. He holds the bat over his right shoulder. 0-1, and a swing and a miss at the changeup in the dirt. No balls and 2 strikes. Hamilton, the rising freshman at Vanderbilt, with great speed at the plate. Good speed at third as well. 0-2. Ground ball left side. The shortstop Rasmussen waits on it. Fields and fires just in time to get Hamilton one away. In to score comes Nicholson, and the Aces on the board. It's 5-1 Big Train in the bottom of the first.
And you take that if you're the Big Train to just get that run in for the Aces, but still a commanding 4-run lead right now and early on in the game.
So Gavin Miller to the plate with 1 out and nobody on. A first pitch to him, a fastball that catches the zone right at the knees. No balls and a strike. Miller has really heated up in this postseason. 0-1. Swings, and it's a high fly ball foul down the right field line. 0-2. 5 for 7 in the 2 games of the semifinal series. Had multiple hits in both. 0-2 pitch. Takes the slider low and outside in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. It was his first multi-hit game since June 25th. So it has been almost a month, but he's picking it back up. 1-2, a swing and a miss at the fastball, and Miller strikes out for out number 2.
Yeah, and you're going to get a similar mix of pitches for Gutierrez as well. 2 breaking balls, a fastball, changeup, loves to go the curveball against these right-handed hitters, and then he can use the slider when he faces lefties to break away from them.
Facing a righty here in Jonah Oster. Campbell product is the designated hitter tonight. Stands in and watches a first pitch miss outside. A ball and no strikes. Gutierrez trying to get through the first with just 1 run allowed. 1-0, and Oster takes inside with a fastball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Gave up the leadoff triple to Tim Nicholson, but a ground out and a strikeout put him in a good spot with 2 outs and nobody on. 2-0. Fastball down in the dirt. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Oster with 3 hits in the semifinals against the T-Bolts, all 3 extra bases. 3-0, and he takes well outside, ball 4, and it's a 2-out walk to bring Matt Austinfort to the plate.
Yeah, walks for Gutierrez. He's done very well with them. The last time out, he walked 5, which was easily the most amount he had in a start. Previously, the highest was just 2. He only had 5 walks all season before that start against the T-Bolts on July 19th.
So Austinfort steps up. Powerful lefty at the plate. First pitch, swings and hits a line drive, right side and right at the second baseman Bishop, who makes the catch and ends the inning. Big Train allow one on the leadoff triple, but strand a runner aboard, and they hold a 5-1 lead as we head to the second from Alexandria. Five-1 the Big Train lead as we head to inning number 2 from Alexandria. 9-1 2-2 up for the Big Train, and Casey Bishop gets things started. Ely back to the mound. Bishop stands in the first pitch to the right-handed hitter. It's a fastball that paints the corner right at the knees. No balls and a strike. Fastball from Ely. 0-1. That fastball ranges inside, a ball and a strike. Ely trying to give the Aces some innings after a big first inning for the Big Train. 1-1. Slider, Bishop lines it back up the middle and into center field for a base hit. It's the Big Train's 5th hit of the day, and they have a leadoff man aboard in the second.
Third baseman, Dixon Williams.
So back to Dixon Williams, who in his last 2 games coming into today, 7 for 9, 6 runs, 8 RBIs. First pitch to him, a slider that's low and in the dirt. He bends his knees out of the way, a ball and no strikes. Great speed at first with Bishop. 1-0. Williams swings and hits a fly ball in the air to center. Back goes the center fielder Gregory, still drifting his way back towards the fence, but he reaches up to make the catch for out number 1, and Bishop retreats to first.
He still shows off the power a little bit, just late on a fastball, but hit it out to left center field a pretty good way, but easily the catch made with plenty of room in front of the wall, though.
So Dean Twigo steps up with 1 down. Last time up, hit a 2-run shot to give the Big Train the lead. Swing and a miss at the first pitch, slider in the dirt. Off for second goes Bishop. Throw high from Nicholson. The tag applied by the shortstop Grego, and Bishop thrown out for out number 2.
Yeah, the tag was on the helmet of Casey Bishop on a ball that shortstop had to leap up into the air and catch. Casey just apparently didn't get the hand in there in time.
So no balls and a strike with 2 down and nobody on. The 0-1 to Twigo is low with a fastball. It's a ball and a strike. Sun shines high in the sky with no clouds in sight down the left field line. 1-1. Twigo watches a fastball skip in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. So Ely allowed to work from the windup. See, wheels and deals a 2-1. Slider. Good take from Twigo. It's down below the knees. It's 3 balls and a strike. The lefty at the plate waits. 3-1, and he takes well outside with a fastball. Ball 4. And that's a 2-out walk that allows Jeffrey Hurd to hit in the top of the second.
Right fielder, Jeffrey Hurd.
Was the first out of the inning in the first. So he watches a first pitch fastball catch the outside corner, called to strike, 0-1. Ray straps his purple batting gloves as he stands back in. A look over to first. Twygo, good speed. 0-1. Fastball misses low and inside. Hurd bends his knees out of the way. 2 balls and no strikes. It's actually a ball and a strike as a throw back to first, and Twygo in safely. One. Hurd swings and hits a fly ball into right field. It drops in front of the right fielder, Wade. Off for third goes Twygo, and he's in safely on a slide. It's a 2-out knock for Hurd, and there's runners at the corners with 2 down.
Yeah, Jeffrey just got a good pitch to hit there on the inside corner, was able to pull it on a line into right field, and with Dean Twygo off on contact, gets into third base safely with plenty of time.
So with 2 down, a mound visit to talk with Ely, in a little bit of trouble for Teddy Ruffner, as shortstop Grego, the first baseman Austin Fort join Nicholson, Ely, and the pitching coach for the Aces.
One Life Fitness is the official gym and workout facility for our Aces. Partnership of the Aces plan to work out today.
So here comes Teddy Ruffner with 2 down. Runners at the corners. Scrapes his cleats in the dirt and stands in. Ely from the stretch, first pitch slider. Ruffner bounces it up the middle. The shortstop Grego fields behind the bag at second. He takes it to the base himself for out number 3, and the inning comes to an end. Big Train strand 2, and do not score in the second. To the bottom half we go. It's 5-1 Bethesda. Bottom of the second, 5-1 Big Train in Game 1 of the League Championship Series. Big Train trying to steal Game 1 on the road. As Corey Taylor steps up, right-handed bat. First pitch from Gutierrez on the mound is a fastball low and inside. Misses the zone, a ball and no strikes. Gutierrez winds, 1-0. Taylor lines it up the middle, past Gutierrez on the mound and into center field for a base hit. Leadoff single and the second hit of the game for the Aces.
Ball steady is in Ray.
Ends Taylor's hitless streak in the postseason. 0 for 8 so far, but first hit, and it comes in the championship series as Gregory steps up and takes a first pitch inside with a fastball, a ball and no strikes. Good speed at first. Gutierrez stares him back to the bag, 1-0. And the fastball paints the outside corner as Gregory thought about a bunt, squared and pulled it back. A ball and a strike. Gutierrez throws over to first, and back safely on his feet is Taylor. Ball and a strike with nobody out. Gutierrez set at the bell. Look at first. He deals, and a 1-1 slider catches the outside corner. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's perfect location if you're facing a left-handed hitter. Wouldn't surprise me if Jesse goes back to that pitch at some point in time in this AB.
1-2. Goes slider again. This one further off the outside, and it misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Let's go, Jesse.
Here's the 2-2. Fastball paints the bottom of the zone, a called third strike, and down goes Gregory for out number 1. It's the second strikeout of the day for Gutierrez in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, I love that sequence. I love getting 1-1 and then going back-to-back sliders, sending the one a little bit further outside, which changes your eyes a little bit. You don't know how wide the plate is, and then coming in with a fastball.
First pitch to Grego, and he pops it up first base side. Long run for the first baseman, Guerrero, but it lands out of play behind the netting. It's no balls and a strike. Crowd is filled in nicely for this championship series. Game 1 in Alexandria, just like it was a year ago. This team's meeting for their 3rd straight championship series. As Gutierrez throws back to first, and Taylor sticks that left foot on the bag before the throw arrives. Shortstop Grego at the plate. 0-1 pitch, and the fastball finds the inside part of the plate, called a strike, 0-2. Gutierrez ahead in the count. Comes set. 0-2. Fastball, and Grego lines it right side and into right field for a base hit. Around second towards third goes Taylor. The throw from Hurd strong, and Taylor retreats back to the bag at second, but it's runners at first and second with only 1 out for Alex Wade.
And credit to Jeffrey Hurd in right field, getting to the ball very quickly and making a perfect throw to Dixon Williams at third, making Taylor rethink his decision and head back to second base.
So the 9-hitter Wade steps to the plate. Hits from the right side. First pitch to him, he swings and hits a fly ball to deep right center. Back goes the right fielder, Hurd. It's over his head, and one hops the wall. Around third comes Taylor. The throw from the cutoff man. Bishop is a little late, and in to score is Taylor. The Aces back on the board in the second on the RBI double from Alex Wade. It's 5-2, and there's 2 more in scoring position with only 1 away.
I said it yesterday for the Big Train when they were down 5-0 after the first against the Crop Dusters. You have a good offense and you have plenty of time. You have everything working for you. And that's the same scenario for the Aces here, and they're battling back already, now have the tying run at the plate.
Similar to how the Big Train did it last night. Big Train spotted the Crop Dusters 5 runs and then got it all back by the third. First pitch to Nicholson. He swings and grounds one up the middle, over the second base bag and into center field. In to score Grego. Right behind him is Wade. It's a 2 RBI single for Tim Nicholson, who pounds his chest at first. It's 5-4 Big Train and 4 unanswered for the Aces since they trailed 5-0. Another guy who was here last summer, Tim Nicholson, making an instant impact. 2 hits in 2 innings, a run scored and 2 RBIs. And the tying run stands at first in the bottom of the second for R.J. Hamilton. First pitch to him, skips in the dirt. Schiavone picks it out cleanly. Ball and no strikes. Hamilton, the arm sleeve on his left arm. Stares towards the mound. 1-0. Thinks about a bunt, instead pulls it back and takes the changeup in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, the hits weren't too big of an issue last time out for Gutierrez. It was really the walks, but 2 starts ago at the T-Bolts on July 13th, 10 hits in 4 1/3 innings.
2-0. And Hamilton pops it up right side, but well out of play. It's 2 balls and a strike. Aces crowd with life once again in Alexandria. 2-1. High fastball. Hamilton gets the bunt down. First base side. Gutierrez fields. Throws down the right field line. Over to third goes Nicholson. He turns around and is on his way in to score. The error from Gutierrez allows Nicholson to score all the way from first. And it's a tie ball game once again.
I got to make sure Hamilton's okay. I'm not sure if it was he tripped over the bag or if there was a collision, but he went down as soon as he got to first base.
And I think it was a collision between him and the first baseman Guerrero, who stands over with him.
50-50, who feels lucky?
Rolled down to the ground as soon as they made contact. But a poor throw from Gutierrez down the right field line. An errant throw to first allowed Nicholson to come all the way around to score. And it's 5-5 in the bottom of the second. And we just hope R.J. Hamilton is all right. A shake of his head. This is manager Chris Burset over there as well. Trainer there for both teams. It looks like he's walking back to the dugout. Couple teammates come over to carry him, and that is the worst thing you want to see towards the end of the summer. Jonah Oster and Tim Nicholson carry Hamilton back to the dugout. You just hope the injury is not too severe. So pinch runner comes in. It's Evan Signs, Eastern Michigan product. And a mound visit from Craig Lopez. 4 runs for the Aces in the bottom of the second. Has tied this game.
Just an unfortunate situation here, and for Lopez, and for Sal Colangelo as well, this is just not what you hope for. He got a little roughed up in that first inning, gave up that run, but was able to get through it. Things just not going well for him here in inning number 2.
It's Gavin Miller to the plate with a runner at first. He swings to the first pitch, hits a ground ball left side, past the dive of the third baseman Williams and into left field. Over to second goes Signs. And at first is Miller with his first hit of the day, and the go-ahead run for the Aces stands in scoring position for Jonah Oster. So Gutierrez in a bit of trouble. First pitch to Oster. Takes a fastball off the outer part of the plate, a ball and no strikes.
And they're going to try to get every ounce out of Jesse Gutierrez. The Big Tree don't have a completely ready pen.
After playing 3 games in the league semifinal, 1-0, Oster hits a fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Jeffrey Hurd. He makes the catch. Tagging towards third is Signs, and he's in safely with a dive. The throw cut off by the shortstop Rasmussen. 2 away, but a runner at third and first for Matt Ossenford.
First baseman, Matt Ossenford.
Austin Fort, the final out of the first inning. A line out to the second baseman, Bishop.
And you got to be careful here. Austin Fort, a ton of power, and is always looking to swing.
First pitch, and he does swing at a slider and comes up empty. No balls and a strike. So Austin Fort steps out, his blonde mullet peeking out of the back of his navy blue helmet. 0-1. High slider, and he takes it up and inside to even the count, a ball and a strike. Miller at first, Signs at third. And a tie game in the bottom of the second. 1-1. Austin Fort watches another slider. This catches the inside corner to Austin Fort's surprise. It's a ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Deep breath on the mound. 1-2 pitch. The fastball skips in the dirt. Schiavone down to both knees, able to block it. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Give credit to Schiavone there. He had a kind of a rough day behind the plate in game 3. A lot of wild pitches, really, between both teams. Jack Cannizzaro had a tough time too.
2-2. Austin Fort fouls the slider off the mask of Schiavone, and he shakes his head. Had his cage rattled. Flexes his jaw. And given time, as Sal Colangelo, the manager, great relationship with Schiavone, heads out to chat with his catcher. And before he even gets to the plate, Schiavone says he's all right. Bit of an injury-riddled bottom of the second. R.J. Hamilton left the game after a collision at first. Schiavone a little shaken up, and hope everyone's all right. At first is Miller, at third is Signs. 2-2. It's off the glove of Schiavone on a high fastball. Here comes Signs to the plate, and he's in to score on the wild pitch. And the Aces jump in front for the first time today. It's 6-5 Alexandria.
Yeah, that one was really far outside. A fastball from Gutierrez just off the end of the glove of Schiavone, who tried to reach out and grab it. And because it also deflected off the glove a little bit, that one kicked away in the complete opposite direction of third base.
So a runner at second with 2 down and a 3-2 count for Austin Fort. Here comes the full count offering, and the slider on the outside. Austin Fort a check swing. He went around, said Fields, our third base umpire, and the inning finally comes to an end. 9 batters come to the plate, 5 runs come across, and the Aces lead after 2. It's 6-5 Alexandria in game 1 of the championship series. We head to the third. Six-5 Aces as we head to the third. Big Train back to bat, and the first pitch to Jacob Orr is a fastball that pins at the knees, called a strike, 0-1. Orr a single and scored back in the 5-run first inning. But Anthony Ely back to the mound with the lead for the first time today. He winds and deals an 0-1. Or hits a high chopper down the third base line. In comes the third baseman Miller. Throws across his body on the move, and it's in time to get the speedy Orr for out number 1.
Kind of a similar play to the one that Orr hit in the 9th inning of Game 1 of the semifinals. This one was a chopper in towards home plate, whereas his last time was a chopper to the 5-hole. Orr just couldn't beat this one out.
So Schiavone to the plate with 1 out. And nobody on. A 3-run home run back in the first to cap off the 5-run inning, and the first pitch slider misses outside. A ball and no strikes. 1-0. Schiavone takes a fastball right at the belt on the inside corner. It's called a strike, a ball and a strike the count. Ely nods, gets the sign, 1-1. Schiavone pops it up behind home plate. Tim Nicholson, the catcher, looks for it. The pitcher, Ely, sees it, and no one able to catch it as it drops behind the catcher, Nicholson, and in front of the third baseman, Miller, who was racing in from his spot at third. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Schiavone.
Yeah, Ely saw it immediately. Nicholson couldn't find it. And at first, I thought maybe there was going to be a collision between the two of them, and thankfully the ball dropped behind everyone.
So with 1 out, the 1-2 pitch. Schiavone ropes one foul down the third base line towards the Aces bullpen. It gets everyone to stand up as it ricochets under the bench. Count stays a ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Schiavone takes outside with a fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big Train trying to win Game 1 on the road in Alexandria and claim home field advantage in this best-of-3 series. 2-2. Schiavone swings and misses on a fastball. It's a strikeout for out number 2, and it brings up Jack Guerrero. So the lefty at the plate. The righty deals on the mound. First pitch. Fastball catches the zone right at the knees. No balls and a strike. As the sun begins to set, shadows creep across left field. Frank Manfield. 0-1. Fastball called a strike on the lower inside corner. And Ely ahead 0-2, looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. 0-2 pitch. Guerrero takes outside with a fastball. A ball and 2 strikes. Taps his bat on the plate. Rests it above his left shoulder. Ely a couple shakes, now a nod. 1-2. Guerrero hits a slow tapper over the head of the pitcher, Ely. The second baseman, Taylor Fields, throws across his body in time for out number 3, and the inning comes to an end. 1-2-3 go the Big Train in the third. On to the bottom of the third. The Aces lead 6-5.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up.
Corey Taylor to lead off the home half of the third. 6-5 aces, and he's back to bat after Alexandria put up a 5-run bottom of the second. Gutierrez back to the mound. The lefty winds and deals, and a first pitch swing and a miss at a fastball. No balls and a strike.
Yeah, they're going to need Jesse Gutierrez to get 5 innings tonight, especially with a bullpen that's been taxed because of that long series and an extra inning game.
0-1. Fastball skips in the dirt, a ball and a strike. The big train played 30 total innings as the 1-1 to Taylor called a strike on the inside corner, a ball and 2 strikes in the semifinal series, while the Aces just played 18 innings.
And 8 1/3 of them in yesterday's game, the bullpen.
1-2, and Taylor chases a slider and just taps it back to the fence. A ball and 2 strikes. Aces mercy ruled the T-Bolts in Game 1 of their semifinal series, playing 7 and won Game 2 in 11 innings in Silver Spring. Another 1-2. Again, Taylor reaches out and taps it back to the fence, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Taylor just picked up his first hit of the postseason to the plate for the second time in 2 innings. 1-2. Hits it back past Gutierrez on the mound, and it rolls into center field for another leadoff single for Taylor, and he's aboard in the bottom of the third for Nick Gregory.
And that was just Taylor getting himself into another good count. It's what the Aces have been doing a lot in this game, as they've been getting in a lot of 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, even 2-2 sometimes isn't that bad because the count is evened up. So if they can get into those good counts, they're going to continue to have pitches to swing at.
So the lefty Gregory at the plate, and he watches a first pitch fastball called a strike at the knees, 0-1. Was the first out of the inning in the second, but it's when things started to get going for the Aces. 0-1, and a fastball right back at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes. 5-run inning for Alexandria to match the 5 the big train put up in the first. 0-2. Gregory hits a slow chopper down the first base line. The first baseman Guerrero fields, but foul as he stretches his glove past the base to field. First base umpire right there for the call. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
That's a really heads-up play from a guy who doesn't play first base often, opting to immediately tag the bag, turn, and throw.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Gregory takes a called third strike, a fastball at the knees. He strikes out for the second time. Third strikeout of the day for Gutierrez, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the third. Brings Dylan Grego to the plate. He had a base hit an inning ago and came around to score. Taylor 2 steps off the bag at first. And Gutierrez called for a balk. Third base umpire Fields, who stands right behind the mound, immediately made the call, and Taylor jogs over to second.
Hey, you don't see that call often, but we had it twice in Game 3 yesterday, once on Galley and once on one of the pitchers for the Crop Dusters. Can't remember who that one was.
So a runner in scoring position with 1 out. The first pitch to Grego, and the fastball just below his knees. It's a ball and no strikes. Settles back in. Gutierrez will look back at second. 1-0. And Grego fouls one back and out of play behind the plate. A ball and a strike. Sun continues to set in Alexandria. Shines right towards the first base line. Taylor on the move. 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss in the dirt. The throw down to third from Schiavone, well late. He had to pick the ball out of the dirt, then get a good grip, and his throw not in time. A stolen base for Taylor. He's at third with only 1 out. The count, a ball and 2 strikes to Grego.
And Williams saving an error as well on the high throw from Schiavone. A couple of those from both sides today were the infielders saving throwing errors from the catchers.
1-2. Grego takes a ball in the dirt. Schiavone has to block it, and it rolls softly down the third base line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The infield comes in for the big train, trying to prevent a 7th run through 3 innings allowed. The Aces did not score in the first 16 innings they played against the big train here at Frank Mann Field, but that has changed tonight. 2-2, Grego hits a line drive past the shortstop Rasmussen and into left field for a base hit. In to score comes Taylor, and the Aces make it 7-5 on an RBI single from Dylan Grego.
That's the one issue of bringing the infield in, is something like that can occur when the ball slips through. Rasmussen playing in at shortstop, the ball hit the 5-hole, and just unable to get over there in time.
7 unanswered for the Aces, as the 9-hole hitter Alex Wade to the plate had an RBI double an inning ago. First pitch to him, he swings and pops it up. First base side, long run for the right fielder Hurd. He comes in, and it lands in front of him. The throw to second is not in time from Hurd. Off the bag was the shortstop Rasmussen. A little pop-up that landed between Hurd and the second baseman Bishop, and it goes down as a single for Wade. Runners at first and second with only 1 out.
And that's how you know as a starting pitcher things aren't going your way, is when little pop-ups down the line are falling just barely fair. And Hurd, that throw to second base, like you said, pulled Connor Rasmussen off the bag. Had a chance, had a very good chance to get the out there at second.
So Nicholson at the plate with 1 out. He squares the bunt, puts a perfect bunt down the third base line. Williams to let it roll, and it just creeps foul to the left of the bag. It was rolling in that dirt path in fair territory all the way towards the bag, and just at the last second trickles foul.
What a smart play by Dixon Williams. Credit to both the corner infielders for the big train, making really heads-up plays. That one last second just going foul.
And Nicholson, with a smile on his face, knows he can't do much better than that. 0-1. Fastball in the dirt. Schiavone blocks it with the chest protector. Keeps it in front, a ball and a strike. Grego remains at second. Wade stays at first. Both Nicholson and Schiavone part of this series a year ago with their respective teams. As Gutierrez spins, looks at second. Back safely on his feet is Grego. One. Nicholson watches a called strike on the inside corner. It's a ball and 2 strikes. With 1 out and a run already in for Alexandria. They lead 7-5 in the bottom of the third. One-two pitch. Nicholson takes a fastball in the dirt. Schiavone again eats it with the chest protector. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the breaking ball for Gutierrez doesn't really have any command of it. Schiavone having to block a couple of them. The good thing is you never want it to really bounce in the dirt, but you'd rather it go in the dirt than hang in the middle of the zone. Two pitch. Nicholson hits a fly ball to left field, or the left fielder takes a couple steps back and then comes back in to make the catch for out number 2. Nicholson retired for the first time today, and it brings up Evan Sines for his first at-bat after he pinch ran for Hamilton, who got hurt, and here comes Sal Colangelo to make a change. 7-5 Aces with 2 down in the bottom of the third. Gutierrez's night is done. We'll be right back on the Big Train Baseball Network.
Kevin Scully, the new pitcher for the Big Train, a 4.09 ERA in 7 games this summer. Last pitched against the Aces last Friday here at Frank Mann Field, went 2 scoreless innings. And before that, faced the Aces in the loss at Shirley Povich Field earlier that Tuesday, went 2 innings, just allowed a run. He faces Evan Sines, who's up for the first time with runners at first and second and 2 down. Sines pinch ran for Hamilton, who got hurt an inning ago on a collision at first base. And again, we hope Hamilton is all right. All right, he stands in at the plate. Look back at second. First pitch from Scully. And a swing and a miss from Sines. No balls and a strike. Sines has really struggled with runners in scoring position this summer. 2 for 19 in the regular season. Just hitting over 100. 0-1. Swings away. Hits a high fly ball. Foul down the right field line. It's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
And Kevin Scully had a really, really good regular season for the Big Train. Was roughed up on the very first outing he had back on June 9th at the Crop Dusters. But ever since then, so good.
0-2. Slider misses outside off the glove of Schiavone, but it sits right near the plate, and he picks it up, keeps the runners where they are at first and second. Ball in 2 strikes with 2 down. Aces lead 7-5. They've scored 7 unanswered. Scully set at the belt. A look back at second. A 1-2 delivery. Slider, swing and a miss. And the inning comes to an end. The Aces score 1 on 3 hits, 2 left. We head to the 4th inning from Alexandria in Game 1 of the championship series. 7-5, Aces lead. We welcome you back to Frank Mann Field in Alexandria, Virginia for Game 1 of the League Championship Series between the Big Train and the Aces, the Trilogy, Chapter 3. As Rasmussen to the plate, Big Train trails 7-5, and he watches a first pitch fastball called a strike at the knees, 0-1. Ely back out to the mound for his 4th inning of work. 0-1 pitch. The fastball misses low and outside, a ball and a strike. After allowing 5 runs in the first inning, Ely has settled down and put a couple zeros on the scoreboard in the 2nd and the 3rd. 1-1 to Rasmussen. He swings and lines it into left field, and it drops in front of Sines for a base hit. Rasmussen leads off the inning with a single, and it brings up Casey Bishop.
Tell you what, Connor's really got his swing back. That batting average at one point in time went all the way down to the 220s, and Connor is finding most of his success lately swinging and getting base hits to the opposite field.
Had 2 hits last night, including a 2 RBI single, and his first hit of the night today. Bishop to the plate, the right-hander. Watches a first pitch fastball catch the zone right at the letters. 0-1. Good speed at first with Rasmussen. And the top of the order waits around the corner on deck. 0-1 pitch. Bishop hits a little flare into right center field, and it drops for a base hit in front of the right fielder Wade. Around second and off for third is Rasmussen. The throw comes into second. It's a base hit for Bishop, his second of the day. And then there's runners at the corners with nobody out. And Tim Nicholson, the catcher, out to chat with his pitcher Ely.
Yeah, plenty of time in this game still, and the Big Train offense can wake up at any point. And now you have so many good hitters in this lineup, but I don't think there's anybody else you'd rather have up in this situation than Dixon Williams.
Williams in the postseason came into today hitting .500, 7 for 14. But it's what he did with runners in scoring position so far this postseason. 3 for 4 with 7 RBIs, and that's all come with 2 outs. He has runners at the corners with nobody out in the top of the 4th. First pitch to him, and a fastball well inside. He bends out of the way. A ball and no strikes. Off at third is Rasmussen. Good speed at first with Bishop. 1-0 and a high fastball. Williams takes 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, if Dixon gets a good competitive pitch here, he's going to take a hack at it. He's got a chance to do some damage here.
The lefty waits. 2-0, swings away and fouls one back. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, jumped the gun on a fastball there. That, like you said, up above the letters, a little high. He was sitting on that pitch, and I think there was just a little bit of rise to it towards the end, and Dixon just fouls it back.
Most of the infield and the outfield covered in shadows. The sun continues to set. 2-1 to Williams. He grounds it right side, past the second baseman, Taylor, and into right field for a base hit. In to score comes Rasmussen. Bishop caught off the bag at second. Miller, the third baseman, chases him down, applies the tag, but the Big Train get one back. It's 7-6 aces in the top of the 4th as Dixon Williams moves over to second on an RBI single. His 9th RBI of the postseason.
Dixon continues to find the hole on the right side. That's all he's doing this entire series, is just pulling the ball, and it doesn't matter how a team shifts him. He's still going to find the outfield grass.
So Dean Twigo to the plate with 1 down. And a runner at second, the tying run in scoring position. He swings to the first pitch, bounces it right side. Austin Ford into a slide, able to field, keep it on the infield, but by the time he pops to his feet and gains control of the baseball, he has no throw. Twigo beats it out for an infield single. Over to third moves Williams, and there's runners at the corners again with only 1 out, and Hurd to the plate.
Another one of those guys that you want up here in this situation. But for Jeffrey, we'll see if he can try to elevate a pitch here. Jeffrey's more of a line drive fly ball kind of guy rather than a ground ball, so there's a good chance he gets something to the outfield. This is a tie ball game.
With 1 out, the first pitch to Hurd, and he attacks a slider and fouls it straight back. No balls and a strike. The lefty at the plate and Hurd. 0-1. Takes a fastball, called a strike on the inside corner, 0-2.
Yeah, a good movement on that one too. Almost a cutter. Not a cutter, but still you could see the slight movement at the end there. Just ever slightly moving in.
0-2 pitch. Hurd lines it right side, past the second baseman, Taylor, and into right center field. Into score Williams to tie the game. From first to third goes Twigo. It's a brand new ball game once again in the top of the 4th. 7-7 our score on the RBI knock from Jeffrey Hurd, who stands at first.
I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if there's a change coming soon, and you might see it right here.
Chris Bursitt, the manager, out to the mound. Anthony Ely's day is done. 5 runs in the first, 2 runs in the 4th, and the Big Train still threatening. We'll take a break and be right back. 7-7 with 1 out and runners at the corners. Top of the fourth, 7-7 our score in game one of the league championship series. Teddy Ruffner to the plate with runners at the corners and only one out.
Hey, Cade, here we go now.
New pitcher on the mound is Cade Madison. Got the start against the Big Train their last time down here, just 5 days ago. And he faces them for a second time in less than a week with some traffic. First pitch to Ruffner, the slider just outside, ball and no strikes. Twigo at third, Hurd at first. It's Madison, deep breath on the mound, set at the belt, 1-0.
Yeah, there you go, Cade.
Ruffner takes a slider, called a strike on the outside corner. It's even a 1-1. Madison nods and deals a 1-1. Ruffner watches a fastball right at the knees. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Madison's got a fastball, he's got the curveball, he's got the change. That fastball out of high school was at 89. You could clearly see, Eli, that was not 89. He's picked up a few ticks on that fastball velo.
1-2, and it is up and into Ruffner, and I think it hits the helmet. And down to first he goes. Might have hit the brim of that helmet as Danita Valentine, the trainer, comes out to check on him. And the bases are loaded.
Well, that was that fastball, but Madison lost the command on it. Teddy Ruffner at first looked very disoriented, but I think it was just because of where that ball hit the helmet, kind of pushed him backwards and he spun around. And even the first base umpire checks on him. But Sal Colangelo out of the dugout immediately.
Anytime a player's hit in the head, it's scary, and certainly the case there. Or to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. Tie game, first pitch, and the slider well upstairs, a ball and no strikes.
All right, Jacob, let's go.
Madison has an ERA just a little south of 6, and started that game, the final game of the regular season, that 7-inning game here at Frank Mann Field.
1-0 and a foul tip into the glove of the catcher Nicholson, a ball and a strike with only 1 out. 2 runs already in for the Big Train.
Had a really good start back on July 10th down in Lorton, 5 shutout innings.
1-1, the fastball misses downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. At third is Twigo, at second is Hurd, at first is Ruffner. Two-one. Slider outside, past Nicholson to the backstop. Here comes Twigo. He slides in safely. And the Big Trainer back in front on the wild pitch. Over to third goes Hurd, and to second goes Ruffner. It's 8-7 Big Train. The count 3 balls and a strike to Orr.
Just off the glove of Nicholson. Looked like a breaking ball he just couldn't handle. And it kicks away, very similar to the one that hit off of Jason Schiavone's glove a little bit earlier, where it comes towards the Big Train dugout, towards almost where we're sitting, rather than goes directly behind home plate.
So Madison ready, 3-1. Orr hits a little looper into right center field. Long run for the right fielder, Wade, and it drops in the outfield grass. Hurd in to score. Ruffner moves over to third. He has to wait to make sure it lands. It's an RBI single for Jacob Orr. And the Big Train up 9-7, a 4-run top of the fourth, still only 1 out.
And just off the end of the bat, Orr's had a couple of those base hits throughout the season. Just because of the way he swings, he gets those arms extended so far out over the plate. And that one allows Jeffrey Hurd to come in to score from third. And Ruffner did have to hold up, though, but still 90 feet away.
With 1 out, the first pitch to Schiavone. Takes a fastball right at the knees, called a strike, 0-1. Good speed at first, and decent speed at third as well. Madison still looking for his first out of his outing. 0-1. Fastball in the dirt, 2 ball. A ball and a strike. An inning that has gotten away from the Aces. Big innings have told the tale of this one. 5 in the first for the Big Train, 5 in the second for the Aces, and 4 in the top of the fourth for Bethesda. 1-1, the slider skips in the dirt outside. Nicholson stabs it with the glove and keeps it around home plate. Orr remains at first. It's 2 balls and a strike to Jason Schiavone. Schiavone checks his swing and fouls it back. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 down. Here's the 2-2 to Schiavone. He takes a fastball upstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 down. With runners at the corners and 1 away, Madison set at the belt, 3-2 home. Schiavone hits a high fly ball to left. Back goes Signs. Schiavone has done it again. Off the scoreboard and left, his second 3-run blast of the night, and the Big Train in front 12-7. They've regained their 5-run advantage on another 3-run home run from Jason Schiavone.
It was just another pitch in the middle of the zone. I was going to say, you know, don't be surprised if he swings 3-2 here, because he's been seeing the ball really well at the plate. And then off the scoreboard here at Frank Mann Field, that one maybe more of a no-doubter than the last one.
And here comes the pitching coach for Alexandria to talk with Madison, still yet to record an out. And the Big Train have scored 7 in the top of the 4th to lead 12-7.
And Jason Schiavone in one day is catching up to Dixon Williams in that RBI department, now 6 tonight.
Has 7 RBIs on the postseason, 6 of them tonight. And the Big Train set to hit around. Guerrero, the 9th hitter to step up to the plate this inning.
And now 8 home runs hit in 4 games here in the postseason for Bethesda. All of a sudden, everyone really comfortable swinging the bat, and the power is showing.
7 hits in the inning, 7 runs in the inning. First pitch to Guerrero, and he takes a fastball downstairs, a ball and no strikes. Madison scrapes the mound with his cleats, moves the dirt around. 1-0. Guerrero, it's a high chopper down the first base line, but foul as Tim Nicholson, the catcher, chases it down. Ball and a strike. One. Guerrero takes a slider outside, 2 balls and a strike. Right-hander beginning to warm for the Aces in their bullpen. Madison winds and deals a 2-1, and Guerrero fouls it straight back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Guerrero twirls the bat towards the mound. Waits on a 2-2. Swings and misses. Had a changeup in the dirt. Out number 2 in the 4th inning. Now with 2 down, Connor Rasmussen back to the plate. He led off the inning with a single.
Yeah, Bethesda's had a few of these innings in the last few weeks where the lineup just continues to go one after the other. No slowing down.
First pitch to Rasmussen, misses low and outside, a ball and no strikes. Big Train trying to claim game 1 on the road as the sun is set in Alexandria. 1-0 and a swing and a miss. Ball and a strike with 2 down. Madison from the windup, the 1-1. Fastball well outside, 2 balls and a strike. 2 down. Madison's 2-1. Rasmussen hits a little fly ball into shallow left. Signs the left fielder, starts back, comes in and makes the catch to end the inning. But the Big Train scores 7, including the 3-run blast from Jason Schiavone. They're back in front in game 1, 12-7 their lead. Welcome back to Frank Mann Field. Bottom of the 4th, 12-7 Big Train. As Scully back to the mound, he faces Gavin Miller in the first pitch with a fastball up and inside, a ball and no strikes. Scully deals a 1-0. Miller lines it over the leap of the shortstop Rasmussen and into left center field for a base hit. The offense keeps coming for both these sides. A leadoff single for Miller, his second hit of the day.
Yeah, just because it's 12-7 doesn't mean the Crop Dusters are going to stop. They've already made up one 5-run deficit, and they still have 5 innings to make up another.
So Jonah Oster to the plate with nobody out and a runner at first. It's interesting, Chris Bursett recently said in an interview that playoffs test your pitching because you only have so many guys and you got to keep using them. First pitch to Oster is a called strike with the slider, 0-1, especially with limited days off. Unlike Major League Baseball's postseason or college baseball's postseason, you just don't have a lot of days off, and starting to see the pitching get tested for both sides. 0-1 home. Oster fouls it back to the screen. It's a ball and a strike.
Not to mention, you have a few guys for the Big Train who had already left, like Davion Hicks and a few guys who haven't been healthy. Brandon Clark was scratched from a start a little bit ago. So the bullpen is not 100% there. They're already kind of going into the playoffs with a short pen.
And, of course, the leash a little bit shorter for a lot of guys. You don't pitch well, you don't go very long, and that forces the bullpen to be used more. 8 1/3 innings from the bullpen last night. 0-2, a foul tip into the glove, a strikeout of Oster, and there's one away in the bottom of the 4th. So it brings Matt Ossenfort back to the plate, an 0-for-2 day. And for the Aces, it's him, Oster, and Nick Gregory, the only guys without a hit in this Aces lineup. Rare to see for one of the best hitters in the league. Lefty at the plate. First pitch from Scully. He swings and grounds one to the first baseman Guerrero. Flips to the shortstop Rasmussen for 1. He steps back on the bag to make sure he gets the out at second, and does for out number 2. And Ossenfort able to reach on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, Guerrero fielded that ball quickly, but a sidearm high throw to Rasmussen. Connor having to step on the bag again, and immediately Guerrero tapping his chest, saying, "My fault," to Rasmussen. Sometimes you have to do that, though. Sometimes you have to go to an arm angle like that, because if you just try to throw it over the top, it could hit the runner.
Or you could throw it over everybody's
Right,
head.
that's right.
So Corey Taylor back to the plate, 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. 2 outs and a runner at first. The first pitch slider misses upstairs, a ball and no strikes. Big Train trying to win game 1 like they did against the Aces back in 2021. Would finish the series off in 2 games. 1-0. Swing and a miss at the slider, and it's a ball and a strike to Taylor. When the Big Train win game 1, they have never lost the title. That dates back to 2015. They did not finish the title in 2018. Both the Redbirds and Big Train given a share of the championship because of rain. The Big Train did win game 1 that year. 1-1. Slider upstairs, 2 balls and a strike to Taylor, but in the other 3 seasons since the format changed to a 3-game championship series, game 1 has guaranteed the Big Train a championship. Up 12-7 in game 1, the bottom of the 4th. Still a long way to go in this one. 2-1. Taylor swings, and it's a fly ball to deep left center field. Back goes the left fielder, Orr on the run, reaches out, and he makes the catch. Defensive masterclass for Jacob Orr over the last 2 nights. He robs an extra base hit and likely prevents a run. We head to the 5th inning from Frank Manfield. It's 12-7, Big Train on top. Top of the 5th, the Big Train back to bat, up 12-7, and they face Cade Madison. Back out for his first full inning of work, and he fires a fastball in at the knees. No balls and a strike to Bishop, who has started to swing a hot bat. 2 for 2 today. 0-1. Slider misses inside. Ball and a strike.
Yeah, Casey didn't have a lot of protection in the lineup early on in the season. He did have Jeffrey Hurd, but so much of the starting lineup today was not that on opening day.
1-1 and the fastball upstairs. Bishop pulls the bunt attempt back and takes ball 2. 2 balls and a strike.
You didn't have Rasmussen or Williams. You didn't have Orr. And then, of course, Casey Bishop misses some time and then comes back. So finally starting to...
So he takes a 2-1 fastball inside, spins out of the way, 3 balls and a strike.
And finally starting to get the swing back for him. Perfect timing, too.
A hit in every postseason game, including tonight, where he has 2. 3-1, swings and hits a hot shot ground ball left side. Grego with the backhand, bobbles it, throws to first, and just in time to get the speedy Bishop one away. Not a clean play by Grego, but a strong enough throw to get the out. And it's back to the top of the lineup for Dixon Williams.
Yeah, Grego tried to slide and backhand it, and it just hit off that glove. But Grego with a really strong throw over to first. Casey Bishop, another one of the quickest guys in the team.
So Dixon Williams at the plate. First pitch to him. He takes a fastball, gets the call for a strike on the lower inside corner, 0-1. Williams, with 2 runs already scored today, has scored multiple runs in each of the last 3 games now. As he swings and misses at an 0-1 slider, it's 0-2. And not much of a surprise. A guy who's second in the league in runs scored this summer, behind just Tim Nicholson. As the 0-2 pitch well upstairs, and that man who leads the league in runs scored reaches high to make the catch and bring it in. A ball and 2 strikes.
It was a fastball. He just tried to give him the quickest pitch he had.
1-2, a swing and a miss. The curveball drops below the bat of Williams. He strikes out for out number 2.
Yeah, that's a classic sequence there. When you get into a 2-strike count, try to go with a high fastball, see if you can get him to change the eye level, and then go with the breaking ball down and in, and Williams swings over top of it.
First pitch to Twigo, and a fastball called to strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Twigo has reached all 3 times. 0-1 pitch and chases fastball down in the dirt. No balls and 2 strikes. And clearly Madison feels a whole lot more comfortable from the windup than he did the stretch. 0-2. Fastball well outside, and it takes the glove off the catcher, Nicholson. The ball and the glove roll behind him towards the backstop. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
I've never seen that before. You wonder if maybe he didn't have the glove on his hand in time or something on the previous pitch.
1-2, and Twigo just gets a piece and fouls it back. A ball and 2 strikes. Sun is set, shadows cover the entire field. Wind still blows out to center. Oh, it has turned into a beautiful Alexandria night. 1-2, curveball in the dirt. Twigo holds up his swing as he stumbles across the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Madison winds and deals. 2-2. Twigo lifts it in the air to center. Long run for the center fielder Gregory into the left center field gap. He tracks it down, makes the catch, inning ends. 1-2-3 go the big train for the second time tonight, but the offense has been there. 12-7 they lead halfway home in game 1 of the championship series. Bottom of the 5th, the big train ahead 12-7 over the Aces in game 1 of the league championship series. Nick Gregory back to the plate. A pair of strikeouts against Jesse Gutierrez in his 2 at-bats. The lefty stares toward the mound, and Kevin Scully stares in. First pitch from the righty on the mound, and the fastball misses away. It's a ball and no strikes.
I'd like to see Scully continue to use that slider. He has 2 breaking balls, the curveball and the slider, but tonight almost exclusively using the slider.
Comes set at the belt. 1-0. There's the slider, and it catches the outside corner, a ball and a strike. East is the home team in game one. They have to travel to Bethesda tomorrow. 1-1 pitch. And a little blooper down the right field line. It lands fair and rolls into the corner. Gregory around first with great speed into second, standing with a double. Doesn't hit it hard, but he's in scoring position to begin the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, didn't make great contact on that one, just kind of looped it in down that line, but you better believe the Aces are going to continue to have some good swings tonight, especially considering Bethesda's going with relievers right now who don't often pitch in big games or in big situations. Not only that, but also who maybe don't go more than a couple of innings.
Kevin Scully back out as a helicopter flies overhead. Scully steps out to throw to first, an appeal to see if Gregory touched the bag. He did, says our first base umpire. So runner at second, nobody out for Gregory's Ball State teammate, Dylan Grego. Shortstop for the Aces. The first pitch home. Swing and a miss at a fastball. Right by Grego. No balls and a strike. Grego wearing his Ball State helmet at the plate. 0-1. Swing and a miss behind a fastball, 0-2. Scully resets on the mound. Pins that glove against his left hip. Now brings it together with his right hand with the ball. 0-2 pitch on. Swing and a miss at the slider, a strikeout for Scully. It's out number one in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, two fastballs and the slider there, both the fastballs a little bit up, but still in. So he loves working that inside corner to some of these left-handed hitters, but beautiful break on the slider right at the knees.
Brings in Alex Wade, the right fielder from Auburn. Off the bag, dances Gregory. First pitch to Wade, a fastball in the dirt. Schiavone able to cup it with the glove. A ball and no strikes. Wade with his white pants pulled all the way up to the knees. Navy blue Under Armour socks showing beneath them, down to his cleats. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Wade whiffs on the fastball, a ball and a strike.
It pulled the head way out in front of it, too. I think he's sitting fastball and just jumped the gun on it.
Resets in the box, adjusts his helmet, stares towards Scully on the mound. 1-1. Slider takes, called strike two. On the lower outside corner, a ball and two strikes from Scully. With one down in the bottom of the fifth. Big Train ahead, 12-7. One-two from Scully. Fastball skips in the dirt. Schiavone able to once again glove it between his legs. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. At second is Gregory with fantastic speed. 2-2. Wade hits a ground ball left side, right at the third baseman Williams. Looks the runner back to second, throws to first in time for, and Gregory remains at second.
Again, another slider from Scully getting some weak contact over to Dixon Williams, and that's all Scully has done so far with that slider, is either get weak contact or get strikeouts. Nobody's been able to barrel up that pitch yet.
So with 2 down, it's Tim Nicholson back to the plate. 2 for 3 day. First pitch, the slider outside, a ball and no strikes. What a performance it has been for both catchers today. Both in their second season, their respective teams. Nicholson lines it right side, under the glove of the second baseman, Bishop, and into right center field. It gets under the glove of the right fielder, Hurd. Into score comes Gregory. In standing with a double is Nicholson. He has 3/4 of the cycle through 5 innings. A triple, a single, a double, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. It's 12-8 Big Train in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, that one would have been a double either way, and Jeffrey Hurd is lucky that the speedy Nicholson didn't get to third. Jeffrey Hurd ranging to his right, hitting into that right center field gap, trying to field it kind of off to the side because of how far away he was from the ball, and like you said, just slides underneath of the glove.
So Evan Signs back to the plate. He swings and misses at a slider in the dirt. Well behind the pitch. No balls and a strike. Oh, 1. Signs watches a slider catch the outside corner. 0-2. Scully 1 pitch away from getting through the 5th. 0-2. Swing and a miss. The high slider gets him, and the inning comes to an end. 1 run scores on a pair of doubles for the Aces, but to the 6th inning we go. It's 12-8 Big Train.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. Meet me in the corner.
Top of the 6th from Frank Manfield in Alexandria. 12-8 Big Train lead, and Jeffrey Hurd to the plate to face Cade Madison. First pitch home. Hurd thinks about a bunt, instead pulls it back and takes a fastball low and outside, a ball and no strikes. For the Big Train, double-digit runs for the 2nd straight day as the 1-0 misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. After they had a huge performance last night. As Hurd watches a fastball miss outside. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Hurd. And Madison working lightning fast. 3-0 pitch. Hurd takes well high, ball 4. And a leadoff walk for the Big Train. For the Big Train, double-digit runs in back-to-back games for the first time since June 13th and June 14th. Well over a month ago, Big Train beat the Giants 26-0 on the 13th. 11-5 win over the Braves a day later. As a throwback to first from Madison, and Hurd picked off. The tag applied by Austin Fort, and there's 1 away.
Yeah, the tag was on Jeffrey Hurd's lower back, but you know, a lot of times maybe the hand's in there, but you could see Jeffrey Hurd, Eli, the dive was late and the tag was almost while he was still in the air.
First pitch to Ruffner, and the slider misses inside. A smile from Teddy. Ball and no strikes as he scrapes the dirt at right-handed hitter's batter's box. Madison winds the 1-0. Ruffner grounds one sharply foul down the third base line. It's a ball and a strike. So the leadoff walk erased for the Big Train. They've done all their scoring in just 2 innings, 5 in the first, 7 in the fourth. 1-1. Ruffner takes well high with a fastball, 2 balls and a strike. The wind starting to pick up, blowing to straightaway center field. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Ruffner goes after a high fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. Slider, a called third strike. Ruffner goes down looking for out number 2.
Yeah, a couple of high fastballs there to Teddy, and then going with the breaking ball on the outside corner. That's a common sequence that we've seen throughout the Cal Ripken League for a lot of these pitchers who don't have many pitches developed yet, maybe just 2 or 3. So you go with that fastball, and then you go with that slider.
That's the 3rd strikeout for Madison, and Orr back to the plate. And the slider this time misses well outside into the backstop. A ball and no strikes. 2 hits for Orr today, including an RBI single back in the 4th. Off of Madison, 1-0. Takes a fastball well inside, spins out of the way, 2 balls and no strikes. Madison winds 2-0. Slider just outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Or well ahead of the count. 3-0. Takes a fastball all the way, down the middle, called a strike 3-1. Schiavone stands on deck with his 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. 3-1. Orr takes ball 4. A fastball rides well up and in again.
We might see a change here with Schiavone coming up to the plate.
And instantly Chris Bursett pops out of the dugout. Here he comes. Likely to take the ball from the right-hander Madison. New pitcher coming in. Schiavone coming to the plate. 12-8 Big Train with 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
Watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
2 outs, a runner at first, and the new pitcher, Graham Carroll, the sidearm right-hander, to face Jason Schiavone. Pair of 3-run home runs today. The runner at first and 2 down. First pitch to Schiavone. Slider well inside, a ball and no strikes. The day done for Cade Madison. It's his runner over at first that Carroll inherits. 1-0. Schiavone takes a fastball at the belt to ball and a strike.
Yeah, Carroll pitched well in the game against the Big Train back on the 21st. 2 good innings with a strikeout facing just 7 hitters.
1-1 swing and a miss from Schiavone. Misses on the fastball. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs.
And that arm angle is so tough for a lot of young hitters who don't have a lot of experience facing a guy like this.
Comes set at the mound, 1-2. Schiavone hits a sharp ground ball to third. The third baseman Miller fields, throws to second in time for out number 3 or retired on the force out. And we head to the bottom of the 6th from Frank Manfield. It's 12-8 Big Train at Game 1 of the League Championship Series. Of Gavin Miller. So Gavin Miller stands in. 12-8 Big Train in the first pitch. Called strike with a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. It's Kevin Scully back to the mound to face 3, 4, and 5. Right-hander rocks to a set position. 0-1. Slider just misses off the outside corner, a ball and a strike. Miller, 2 hits today. Does have a strikeout back in the first. 1-1. Miller hits a sharp ground ball left side, past the glove of Rasmussen, the shortstop, in the hole and into left field for a base hit. 3rd hit of the day for Gavin Miller, who continues to tear off the cover of the baseball in the postseason. And it brings up Jonah Oster. Every inning, the Aces have had a leadoff hit.
Well, this is a critical inning here for the Aces. Scully has been out there for a while now, and this is not the first time he's faced this part of the lineup.
Oster at the plate. First pitch slider, swings and rips it. A line drive into left field. Back-to-back base hit for the Aces. And they have runners at first and second with nobody out for Matt Austinfort.
And now 27 hits combined between the two teams, as even the relievers have been allowing their fair share of singles.
So the powerful lefty at the plate, the only guy in the lineup without a hit for Alexandria. Infield shifts towards the right side as Rasmussen holds on Miller at second. First pitch to Austin Ford, a fastball up high, a ball and no strikes as the powerful lefty taps his left foot on the ground. Ball and no strikes the count. Nobody out, 2 on, and the Aces down 12-8. Bottom of the 6th. Long hold from Scully. 1-0 home. Skips a fastball in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes.
Scully's got to be careful here. Whatever he throws, especially if it's a slider, he has to execute it really well because, I mean, we've seen the power of Austin Fort.
Just over a week ago in a doubleheader, he hit 2 home runs against the Big Train at Shirley Povich Field. 2-0. Another fastball in the dirt. Schiavone down to both knees to block it. Flips off the mask, but the runners remain at first and second. 3 balls and no strikes.
And Sal Colangelo peeking down in the bullpen to see if his next guy is about ready.
Austin Fort stands back in. Head in the count. 3-0 home. Takes outside with a fastball. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded to bring Corey Taylor to the plate as the tying runner. It's Austin Morris in the bullpen for the Big Train. No move made yet. As Schiavone chats with his right-hander Scully. Craig Lopez chats with Sal Colangelo, the manager. But Scully to face Taylor, who has 2 hits today and a long flyout, and here comes Craig Lopez, and I think that might be all. After Schiavone just went out, here comes Lopez, and let's see. Lopez puts his right hand on Scully's left shoulder. As the infield collides, Austin Fort, the runner at first, stands on the grass. Not sure if a move is going to be made, and it won't be. A pat on the back from Lopez. It's Scully's batter to face.
And when you get down to the wire like this in a season, you need innings from relievers, especially when your bullpen is taxed. And just because the bases are loaded here does not mean you instantly pull your guy. They have as much confidence in him as anybody else does, and they know more than we do, Eli.
Absolutely. Bases loaded for Taylor. Down by 4. First pitch home. Takes a slider in the dirt. A ball and no strikes. Taylor hitless in the postseason coming into today. 2 for 3 and the loudest out of the game. A deep fly ball to left center field. 1-0. Slider, and Taylor reaches out and pops it foul behind the plate. A ball and a strike. Last summer, Taylor in 9 games for the Aces in their championship season hit 143. This year hit 330 with 5 home runs.
Go, Bert.
The open stance from the right side. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Back to the slider from Scully. A ball and 2 strikes. He scrapes his cleats in the dirt in the batter's box. Taps his Navy bat on home plate. Rests it on his right shoulder. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Corners in for the Big Train. 1-2 home. Slider in the dirt. Schiavone blocks it. Taylor holds up his swing. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
All right, Corey, here we go now.
The wind is picked up again. Going straight out to center field. And Scully's jersey, number 44 on his back, waves as the breeze blows by. 2-2 to Taylor. Slider, he pops it up, foul behind home plate, and out of play. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Scully caught a bit of a break there. That was not a very good pitch, and that Taylor, fouling that one back, that's more on Taylor not sitting on that pitch, because had he been, there's a good chance that's yanked down that left field line.
At third is Miller, at second is Oster, first is Austin Ford. 2-2, Taylor takes a fastball just below the knees. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the big train crowd thought they had strike 3.
Yeah, if you're Kevin Scully, you can't make more of a competitive pitch than that one. Just did not get the call.
Nowhere to put Taylor. Full count, nobody out, bases loaded, 3-2 home. It is right back in the same spot. It's a ball once again. It's ball 4 and a run comes in to score on the RBI walk from Corey Taylor. 2 very competitive pitches, 2 very close takes, and 2 balls. Puts Taylor at first, and here comes Sal Colangelo, who's unhappy as anybody.
Yeah, we got an argument going on right now.
And I think that's about as close to a warning as
He got one.
Colangelo will get.
Yeah, he got a warning when that pitch came in. Colangelo said something, but then started screaming at Jason Schiavone, and then motioned, hey, was that low? And Jason just put his hands up.
So the day done for Scully. After a run comes in, the base is still loaded. The big train up 12-9. We'll take a break. It's Morris, the new pitcher, when we return. Bottom of the 6th, the Aces have got one across already. They trail 12-9, and the new pitcher for the big train is Austin Morris, the right-hander from Alabama. Has to work with the bases loaded and nobody out. A 3.17 ERA in 8 appearances, 17 innings, 18 strikeouts, and making his 2nd appearance of the postseason. Faces the center fielder, Nick Gregory, who had a double and scored a run an inning ago.
All right, Nick, here we go now.
Back and forth we've gone all night, and the lead may change hands a couple more times before we're done. Corners in for the big train, up 12-9, but the bases loaded and nobody out. First pitch to the lefty. The slider misses low and inside, a ball and no strikes.
Yeah, this is the one guy the big train have, or are able to use rather, tonight.
1-0, and Gregory fouls it straight back, a ball and a strike.
Everybody else has not pitched in the postseason because Martzoff might not pitch again because of how much he worked in the semifinals. Robinson pitched twice. Skylar Hutto went 4 1/3 innings.
1-1 home. Gregory, a foul tip into the glove. A ball and 2 strikes. Morris, who chooses to work from the windup, peers over that crimson glove. Wheels, deals a 1-2. A fly ball into shallow center field. In comes the center fielder, Twigo, makes the catch, tagging is Oster. Throw to the plate, rolls home, in to score on his feet is Oster. And the Aces get one back on the sacrifice fly. It's 12-10 Big Train with runners at first and second and only one out. But has to be considered a success if you're Austin Morris.
Yeah, he gets a huge first out. Now you have the chance if you can get a ground ball here to get out of the inning. But situation still the same. One swing of the bat here and the Aces could be in front.
It's Dylan Grego at the plate. First pitch from Morris, and the fastball called to strike right at the letters. 0-1. 2 home runs this summer for Grego. Hit 3 this past spring for Ball State. The lefty waits at the dish. Look back at second. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Grego swings over a slider. 0-2.
And Morris worked in game 1 of the semifinals, the 8th and 9th inning after Cassidy tossed 7 innings of 2-run ball. Only allowed the 1 run in the 8th. The 8th inning, Austin Morris, not his typical self. But the 9th inning, and so far right here, back to usual Austin Morris.
Comes set. Look back at second. 0-2 pitch. The fastball downstairs. A ball and 2 strikes. Grunt on the mound for Morris on that last pitch, giving it everything he has in game 1 of the league championship series. His best of 3. 1-2. Swing and a miss at the fastball. Grego strikes out. There's 2 away. And it brings Alex Wade to the plate. A pair of Alabama natives facing off.
Sal Colangelo giving directions to the outfield. Alex Wade had a double that went over Jeffrey Herod's head back in the 2nd.
First pitch, a slider outside, a check swing. He did not go. According to our first base umpire, a ball and no strikes. Morris, the University of Alabama product. Wade, the Auburn product. They battle in Alexandria tonight. 1-0. Swing and a miss at the fastball. A ball and a strike. Decent speed at second, good speed at first for the Aces. As Morris steps off and resets. And Wade gets some pine tar on that bat. Rubs it across his batting gloves. Aces fans hoping for a big hit with 2 outs. 1-1. Fastball just misses off the outside corner. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, the Big Train just not getting the call there. That's the same zone that Kevin Scully was hitting, and now it's up to Austin Morris to be able to bring it back after not getting the call and find a better location.
Leadoff man Tim Nicholson stands on deck. 2-1. Slider. Wade hits a ground ball up the middle. The shortstop Rasmussen fields behind the second base bag. A flip to second in time to get Taylor, and the inning comes to an end. The Big Train allow 2 runs to cross, but strand 2, and they hold a 2-run lead as we head to the 7th. 12-10 the lead as Carroll returns to the mound for Alexandria. Top of the 7th from Alexandria. The lights shine bright on the league championship series as darkness descends on Frank Mann Field. 12-10 Big Train as Jack Guerrero comes to the plate. The lefty to face Graham Carroll for the first time. Seven, 8, 9 for the Big Train. Carroll set, first pitch. Ball outside, a ball and no strikes on the fastball. The Aces playing the Big Train in their 3rd consecutive final. Just the 3rd ever final for Alexandria. 1-1, 1-0. Fastball misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And Guerrero, well late on a fastball, skips it in to the Aces dugout. Rattles around, 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, that went in right at the entrance and kicked all the way down to the very end.
Think pinball or maybe bowling if you put the rails up. 2-1. And it's a called strike at the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Playing with the bumpers.
That's right.
Just rolls all the way down. 2-2. Guerrero, a foul tip into the glove. An uncomfortable looking at bat. Well late on another fastball, and it's a strikeout for out number 1.
Carroll has an opportunity here to actually silence the Big Train lineup because, again, I said last inning, this is an arm angle that the Big Train are not used to. The one thing about Carroll is he doesn't walk hitters, just 2 in 11 innings during the regular season, so you're not going to see a lot of poor pitches either.
First pitch to Rasmussen, a fastball well outside, a ball and no strikes. Has been pretty solid for the Aces all summer long, including 2 scoreless against the Big Train last Friday. 1-0. Rasmussen takes a fastball above the letters, 2 balls and no strikes. Big Train done all their damage in just 2 innings, the 1st and the 4th. 2-0. And a fastball misses off the outside corner, 3 balls and no strikes. And Carroll in danger of walking his 3rd batter of the summer. He comes set at the belt. 3-0. And Rasmussen takes low and outside, ball 4. A 1-out base runner for Casey Bishop.
And now 3 walks in 12 innings of work for Carroll, and 2 of them, though, against the Big Train. So they've been the one team to kind of figure him out, even though they haven't scored a run. So figure him out is really, put an asterisk next to it.
Or pick up a hit.
Yes.
It's all relative, folks. Bishop to the plate with 1 out on the first pitch. Back into the strike zone for Carroll. Fastball right at the knees gets the call. Top of the order waits in the wings. 0-1. Bishop lines it back to the screen. 0-2. Carroll leans in, his chest parallel to the ground. 0-2, and Bishop just fouls it in and out of the glove of Nicholson, who taps his chest and says, "My bad," on a play it's about as hard to make in baseball as one could possibly be. Trying to squeeze a foul tip. Count still no balls and 2 strikes. Carroll rises to a set position. 0-2. Slider dips outside, a ball and 2 strikes. With Carroll, the fastball, downward and inward movement to right-handed hitters. Is the hope for him a ground ball?
I would think so. You'd at least get the lead runner turning 2 here.
1-2. Bishop hits a line drive to right center field, but it's the right fielder Wade who's able to track it down for out number 2 in the right center field gap. Back to first goes Rasmussen, and that's a fastball left over the plate, and Carroll catches a bit of a break.
Yeah, and it actually really works out for him because you'd rather have 2 outs with Rasmussen over at first than 2 outs with Bishop. Both can run really well, but we have raved constantly about Casey's speed.
He showed it at Towson this past spring, and again with the big train this summer. Throw back to first, and Carroll with his signature sidearm pickoff move. But back in safely is Rasmussen. Dixon Williams at the plate, 2 down. Runner at first, first pitch, and he's late on a fastball and fouls it off near the handle. Snowballs and a strike. And it seems that Carroll, as tricky as he is for right-handers, might be a little bit more difficult for the lefties to read. 0-1. Fastball down in the dirt. Nicholson already in a throwing motion. Rasmussen not going. It's a ball and a strike. Quiet at Frank Mann Field. 1-1. Williams rounds it left side, and it gets into left field for a base hit. Past the shortstop, Grego. It's his second hit of the day, and there's runners at first and second with 2 down for Dean Twigo.
Yeah, shortstop over towards the second base bag, hoping that maybe he could be there for a stolen base attempt or a ground ball for, the force at second. And Dixon Williams finds the big hole on the left side.
So 2 outs and 2 on for Dean Twigo. Big train up 12-10. He lines the first pitch over the head of the third baseman Miller and down the left field line. In to score Rasmussen. Williams gets the wave at third. Here's the throw from the third baseman Miller. A head first dive, and Williams in safely. It's a 2-run double with 2 outs for Dean Twigo. And the big train double their lead. It's 14-10. Twigo with his 3rd hit of the day and his 4th RBI.
It was a fastball that kind of got champed on. It just went right over the top of the third baseman.
So Hurd to the plate. First pitch downstairs with the slider. A ball and no strikes to the lefty. Back-to-back hits have brought in a pair of runs. A runner in scoring position with 2 down. 1-0. Fastball just off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, this might be an opportunity for Jeffrey Hurd here to swing 2-0. The command's not there right now for Carroll. They're up by 4. We'll see if he can get something to hit here.
2-0 pitch. Hurd chops the 2-0 down the first baseline. The second baseman Taylor Fields throws to Carroll, the pitcher covering, and as he outstretches his arm, he makes the catch, steps on the base, inning over. A very nice play by Taylor and then Carroll to get out of the inning. But 2 runs score for the big train on 2 hits, a 2 RBI double from Dean Twigo. To the bottom of the 7th we go. 14-10, big train up in game 1. 14-10 Big Train in the bottom of the 7th. This is the first time the Aces have given up double-digit runs since July 17th of last summer, 2022. In the regular season to the Crop Dusters, they gave up 21 that night, but first time this summer they've given up double-digit runs, and now they need to dig themselves out of a hole. 14-10 the Big Train lead, top of the order to the plate for the Aces to face Austin Morris. Nicholson at the plate. 3 hits today. First pitch, swings at a fastball, pulls it deep down the left field line, but it hooks foul. No balls and a strike.
Yeah, just a little early on a fastball right down the middle. That one over the batting cages in left field.
Catcher waits. Stares towards the mound, 0-1. Takes a fastball, called a strike on the inside part of the plate, 0-2. Nicholson has 3 legs of the cycle, just missing the home run. 0-2 pitch. Slider misses outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Morris wheels and deals on a 1-2. And Nicholson takes a called third strike, the slider on the inside part of the plate, and he knew it immediately. Heads back to the dugout, and with 1 out, a pinch hitter, it's Amari Allen. Third guy to hit in this 2 spot tonight after Hamilton got injured early in the ballgame. Signs took over, and now it's Allen who gets his chance, the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, I would expect Allen to be swinging here. He had a couple of impressive swings during batting practice earlier today.
First pitch to him, he watches a fastball right at the belt, 0-1. Allen against the Big Train this summer, 4 for 7 with 5 RBIs. 0-1, and the fastball misses downstairs, a ball and a strike. Only has 9 hits in total this summer in 35 at-bats. 1-1. Swing and a miss, chases the changeup down below the knees, a ball and 2 strikes. The lefty at the plate, leans the bat on his left shoulder. Deep breath, 1-2, takes a called third strike, a fastball on the inside, and Allen goes down for out number 2.
Yeah, for some reason, outside of the first swing from Nicholson, the Aces just keeping the bat on the shoulder, and Morris has given him really competitive pitches in the zone.
Came in to finish the bottom of the 6th, and it's not allowed a base runner. First pitch to Gavin Miller, and the fastball skips past Schiavone to the dirt and to the backstop. Ball and no strikes with 2 down. Big Train lead 14-10. Miller, the right-hander, stands in at the plate, 1-0. Fastball well inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Tua. Fastball just below the knees. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Big Train 7 outs away from a Game 1 victory. 3-0. Fastball called a strike. That one does catch at the bottom of the zone. It's 3 balls and a strike. Morris winds and deals, 3-1, and the slider inside, ball 4. Miller drops the bat, takes off the shin guard and the elbow guard. Both batting gloves, leaves them at the plate and heads down to first.
Yeah, and Austin Morris looks over to Sal Colangelo, kind of motions down to the ground, just trying to relax and face the next hitter here. Still up by 4 runs.
He stares towards the plate where Jonah Oster waits. First pitch home. Fastball well up and inside, a ball and no strikes. Big Train looking to steal Game 1 on the road and set up a potential championship clinching game tomorrow at home in Bethesda. One-0. Oster takes another fastball again inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Miller takes his lead off of first. 10 stolen bases in the regular season. None in the postseason. 2-0. Oster swings and fouls it straight back, and frustrated with himself, misses that fastball. 2 balls and a strike.
He had a chance to make it a 2-run game there. That one was on the outside part of the plate, him being a right-handed hitter, and just could not get the bat on it. Just got a little piece of it.
So he steps back into the box. Morris set at the belt. 2-1. Well upstairs and inside. 3 balls and a strike to Oster with Austin Ford on deck. 14-10 big train with a runner at first and 2 down. Morris dangles that right arm. He gets the sign. Set 3-1. Oster swings and pops up a fastball out of play behind the plate. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, and Miller will get a head start over at first.
We'll see if Oster finally gets a good fastball here and drives it to the outfield. He has not made good contact with the last 2.
3-2, runner goes, swings and fouls it straight back. Count remains full with 2 outs, and Miller returns to first. Crowd quiets. Miller at first goes 3-2 again. It is upstairs with the fastball. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks brings Matt Austinfort to the plate with 2 down and 2 on. Well, you knew the Aces weren't going to go down easy, and they certainly are not tonight.
No, 4-run lead for the Big Train, in my opinion, not enough. Not enough, at least, to be comfortable against a lineup who has been very patient at the plate and has swung a really good bat tonight. 14 hits for them.
The lefty Austinfort, hitless tonight. Takes a first pitch fastball just off the outside corner. A ball and no strikes as he nods at his head coach, Chris Bursett. Stands just off of third base. At second is Miller. At first is Oster. 2 down. 1-0. Austinfort takes well outside. 2 balls and no strikes. And Jason Schiavone, the catcher, heads out to the mound to chat with his right-hander.
This is a tricky decision here if you're Austinfort. You know, you want to swing 2-0 to try to get a good pitch to hit and see if you can pick up an RBI here. But the last 2 from Morris, not close. Both of them well outside.
You think you sit 1 pitch, 1 spot?
I would. You know, for Morris, the idea of going outside and hitting that corner, that's what you have to do in this situation. So for Austinfort, if that pitch isn't in the zone or inward a little bit in his wheelhouse, I would maybe lay off it.
Morris ready. 2-0. Austinfort takes. It's a fastball on the outside part of the plate, and it's called a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, the Big Train approach Austinfort the same way other teams approach Jeffrey Hurd. You got to work him away and you got to work him high because he's going to pull the ball and he's going to hit it a long way if you don't give him a good pitch.
Here's the 2-1. Austinfort swings at a fastball, laces it foul down the left field side. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. One of the hottest hitters for the Aces, Corey Taylor, on deck. And if Austinfort reaches, he represents the tying run. Morris set at the belt. A look back at second. The 2-2. Austinfort takes downstairs with the slider. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. 2 on in the Big Train, leading 14-10.
This is a huge moment in the series, and we're only in game one.
Game one of the championship series. Runners go, 3-2 pitch. Austin Ford takes a called third strike on the inside part of the plate, and the inning comes to an end. 14-10, the Big Train lead. We head to inning number 8. Morris gets out of the jam without any damage.
Till the sun comes up, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down. The juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in
The Aces turn the ball over to Sam Beliveau, a new pitcher, the right-hander for Alexandria, making his second appearance of the postseason when a scoreless inning in the 6-5 win over the T-Bolts, but a 2.41 ERA in the regular season across 12 appearances, 20 strikeouts and 18 2/3. And the Big Train have a pinch hitter set to come up for Teddy Ruffner. It's Zeb Ruddle. Big Train look to add to this 4-run lead. 14-10 advantage in game one of the league championship series. Sam Beliveau to the mound, Zeb Ruddle to the plate. Two newcomers in this game. The first pitch home. Ruddle takes a fastball just below the knees, a ball and no strikes.
I think it crossed up Nicholson there when hitting off his glove and then hitting the dirt.
Beliveau set shoulder high. 1-0. Ruddle watches a slider. That gets the call. At the bottom of the zone, a ball and a strike. Big Train scored 2 runs last inning to put a little cushion on that lead. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Slider goes past Ruddle. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Most runs the Aces have given up this summer. Beliveau set. 1-2. Ruddle watches just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind continues to blow out to center field. Darkness descends in Alexandria. 2-2. Ruddle grounds one foul down the first base line off the Big Train dugout. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beliveau long hold 2-2. Ruddle watches the slider miss outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Ruddle here, 1-2 to 3-2. He's seen a couple of close pitches, but a real patient eye at the plate right now.
Beliveau. 3-2. Swing and a miss from Ruddle. He strikes out for out number 1. And it brings up Jacob Orr.
Fielder, Jacob Orr.
Let's go, Jacob.
Beliveau taking plenty of time as he adjusts his glove on the mound. Orr stands in. First pitch. Orr swings at a slider, hits a little looper. A leap from the second baseman, Taylor, and it's over his head and drops in the outfield grass in right center. A 1-out single for Orr, and Schiavone comes back to the plate.
That's 4 really good plate appearances for Jacob Orr, and 2 of those hits, including that one, just off the end of the bat. I said it earlier, but Orr, with his swing, he can really get his arms extended over the plate, and anything that is on that outside corner, Jacob Orr usually puts it in play.
So Schiavone to the plate with Orr at first. 1 out. The man with 2 3-run home runs tonight stands in. Beliveau deals a first pitch, and the slider misses down just above the dirt. A ball and no strikes. Schiavone, a 3-run home run in the first and the fourth, a strikeout in the third, a ground out in the sixth. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Chases the slider downstairs, a ball and a strike. Schiavone with 3 postseason home runs. Which leads the league. 1-1, and the slider misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. His teammate Dixon Williams in second with 2, and no one else has more than 1. Although Dean Twigo did make it 2 tonight as well. So 3 big train with multiple home runs. No other team has more than 1. 2-1 pitch and a fastball catches at the knees. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beliveau ready to deal. 2-2 pitch. Schiavone hits a high fly ball to deep center field. Gregory on the way back looks up, and he does it again. Third tries the charm for Schiavone. His 3rd home run of the night. Back in Alexandria for year number 2, and Schiavone out for revenge.
Yeah, something was said at home between Nicholson and Schiavone. They're good friends, and I think the umpires thought they were, a little fireworks were about to start happening. But how about Jason Schiavone? All 3 home runs when he's been behind in the count. This time it was 2-2, still 2 strikes. And Schiavone just able to get that one out of here with the wind blowing out to center field.
So the umpires chatting with Chris Bursett, the Aces manager.
I don't know what this is about. Sal Colangelo has a warning. Austin Morris, the pitcher, got a warning last inning. But the team itself doesn't have a warning. The team got a warning in the first game in the semifinals after the Hurd home run. So an argument of maybe, and somebody just got thrown out.
And it looks like it's Chris Bursett, the manager. And third base umpire Fields telling him to go back to the dugout, and he is in the umpire's face as our home plate umpire runs down to try and break things up.
Again, we don't know what the discussion was on, but something clearly said to get him tossed out of the game here. It might just be frustrations, Eli. 16-10 game. The offense can't stop allowing home runs. Jason Schiavone having a great night. And Chris Bursett, when he was thrown out, was walking back to the dugout. So it was a last-second thing said as he walked away.
And Jen Hammond, the assistant coach who takes over the head coaching duties, is talking to our home plate umpire, and she's absolutely outraged as well. Tosses her clipboard to the side. 16-10 Big Train. 3 home runs from Jason Schiavone.
Big Train trying to wrap up this game. Still a long way to go, but Schiavone's swing there, that really helps.
Guerrero to the plate, takes a fastball outside, a ball and no strikes.
Now 4 home runs hit tonight for the Big Train.
1-0. Guerrero hits a fly ball to left center field. The center fielder playing in right center field, and Gregory cannot track it down. It lands in the gap for a base hit. Amari Allen, the left fielder, goes to get it. It's a 1-out single for Jack Guerrero.
Yeah, Allen was the closest one to that because of the shift with Guerrero. And still, Guerrero, not great contact, but just enough to loop it in.
And I'm not sure if Chris Bursett's the only guy who's been thrown out. I think a player might have gone with him.
Really?
First pitch. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
I can see somebody else is leaving.
He had to pack up, and I think that's why Bursett went back out. I'm not sure it was something Bursett said. So runner at first with 1 out. Rasmussen squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a ball and a strike. Bit of late chaos here in the top of the 8th. One, Rasmussen takes outside again. 2 balls and a strike.
It was Oster who got tossed out of the ballgame.
So the designated hitter, Jonah Oster, done for the night. 2-1. And a fastball called a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Oster's reached base 3 times tonight. He's been a really productive hitter at the plate. And you wonder if he was the first to go.
I don't know what the rules are for summer ball across the country. 2-2. Rasmussen pokes one foul down the first base line. I know in the New England Collegiate Baseball League, if a player is tossed, the manager goes with him. And so I wonder if Oster was tossed, and with that result, that means Bursett has to leave as well. Either way, that's a key piece of their lineup, and the manager gone.
That's a good Harrison Myers question. I hope he's listening into this one.
2-2. Chop foul down the first base line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 1 out. Beliveau set. The 2-2. Runner goes. Rasmussen chops it past the pitcher on the mound. The third baseman, Miller, fields. He has no throw with Guerrero already at second, and Rasmussen has an infield single, his second hit of the day. Brings up Casey Bishop with 2 on and 1 out. And the Big Train a chance to really break this one wide open. Bishop, the right-hander, stands in with Guerrero at second, Rasmussen at first. First pitch, grounds it back up the middle. The shortstop, Grego Fields, steps on the bag for one, throw to first, and it's in time. Double play, and the inning comes to an end. But the Big Train get two more on a Jason Schiavone two-run shot. Sound familiar? Probably does. He's done it 3 times tonight. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th, 16-10, Big Train lead. Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field. Welcome back to Frank Mann Field. We'll be at Shirley Povich Field tomorrow. 16-10, Big Train lead, and an update on the situation. It looks like Chris Bursett, the manager for the Aces, and Jonah Oster have been thrown out of the game. That could mean a 1-game suspension for tomorrow. Of course, appeal process likely to be used tonight, and the league going to have to make some decisions. There have been a lot of warnings issued to both sides, but for now, that means that Jen Hammond takes over as acting head coach, and Corey Taylor comes to the plate. Morris back to the mound, the first pitch home. Taylor takes a fastball up and in, a ball and no strikes. And while under non-ideal circumstances for the Aces, it is important to point out that with Hammond taking over as head coach, 1-0, swing and a miss from Taylor, a ball and a strike, she becomes the first woman manager in a Cal Ripken League playoff game.
I believe she might have gotten a warning as well, because she, like you mentioned, was also frustrated, and we'll talk about Sal Colangelo in a second here.
1-1. Taylor takes a fastball in the inside corner, a ball and 2 strikes. And for anyone who did not join us on Friday, she was the first woman manager ever in the Cal Ripken League last Thursday after she took over for Chris Bursett in a game he was not at. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes as the fastball misses outside.
Yeah, Sal Colangelo, after that half inning, was talking to his players and explaining what happened and almost kind of warning them as well.
2-2. Taylor takes a slider upstairs. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Big Trainer 6 outs away from going up 1-0 in the series and going home tomorrow to try to win it. You don't want to be without a manager or a player.
3-2, swing and a miss. Morris gets Taylor to strike out. And there's one away in the bottom of the 8th. So brings up Nick Gregory. And a couple Big Train players have already been warned, as well as Sal Colangelo himself. So there's a short leash right now in this ball game. Lefty Gregory watches the first pitch fastball called the strike on the outside corner, 0-1. It might be a late night for the league office to make some tough decisions for tomorrow's game 2. 0-1. Fastball downstairs in the dirt, a ball and a strike.
And with the Big Train getting a couple of more runs here, Austin Morris has a bit of a longer leash out there.
1-1. Gregory takes outside. 2 balls and a strike. This is the biggest lead the Big Train have had tonight. They led 5-0 after the top of the first. 2-1. Little looper down the left field line. Long run for Orr. He tracks it down in left field to make the catch for out number 2. The Aces led at 1 point in the second and the third. The Big Train put 7 runs up in the top of the fourth and have not relented the lead since. Dylan Grego to the plate with 2 down. Nobody on. First pitch home. Fastball well upstairs. A ball and no strikes. And you imagine if Morris gets through this, he's asked to pitch 1 more. Try and finish this game off so the Big Train can preserve every arm they got for tomorrow. 1-0. Swing and a miss at the fastball. A ball and a strike. And out to the mound goes our home plate umpire. Looks like he's just giving everyone a second. Talking with Austin Morris on the mound. Ready once again. Alex Wade, the 9-hitter on deck. 1-1. And it's up and in, and it hits Grego. And it looks like it hits the handle of the bat. That's a foul ball, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Morris trying to get through this 1, 2, 3, see if he can get the bats back up. And even though you're up by 6 and things aren't looking good for the Aces, you'd like to see the offense continue, see if you can keep the momentum going into tomorrow.
Winds and deals a 1-2. Well upstairs with the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Morris deals a 2-2 pitch. Grego slaps it foul the other way. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Morris is going with a lot of fastballs. It's the one pitch he has real good command of right now. We'll see if he goes breaking.
2-2. Hard shot. Left side, right at the shortstop, Rasmussen. He reaches down, makes the catch, inning over. 1-2-3 go the Aces in the 8th. The Big Train 3-0 outs away from taking game 1 to the 9th we go. 16-10, Big Train on top. We welcome you back to the top of the ninth, 16-10 Big Train lead. New pitcher is Brendan Gray on the mound for the Aces, and Dixon Williams leads things off. Big Train have put up a huge offensive number. The offense that we saw for much of the first half of June has roared back to life in the last 2 nights, exactly when they needed it most.
All of a sudden, the home runs, Eli, I've said it a few times, but something we're not used to.
First pitch, Williams pops it foul behind home plate. No balls and a strike. And with those 16 runs, Adam, I think it's time for our Catalyst Hot Dog player of the game.
Jason Schiavone. A night that, I mean, we talked about Dixon Williams' night last night.
He takes an 0-1 upstairs, the ball and a strike.
And you mentioned, how does this compare to other performances? Well, now we have a rival here with Schiavone. You know, a lot of people here might say, oh, the wind's blowing out to center. But let me tell you something. Those last two, or the first 2 home runs, rather.
As the 1-1 skips in the dirt and hits the home plate umpire, 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, those first 2 home runs, when they were no wind, I mean, they were launched. The second one hit off the scoreboard. It was a rocket out of here. So Jason deserves all the respect tonight for 3 really, really good swings.
Here's the 2-1. Williams pops it high and foul, out of play down the left field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, 8 RBIs tonight puts him tied. As Williams steps out. And Gray comes set on the mound. 2-2 again. Swing and a miss at a slider in the dirt. Nicholson applies the tag. A strikeout begins the top of the 9th.
Yeah, that's been the one pitch for Dixon Williams that has been a bit of his kryptonite throughout the postseason. Has been that breaking ball down and in. Can't really do much with that pitch anyway. Even if you are going to make contact with it, it's just going to be a ground ball because of how low that pitch is.
So Dean Twygo to the plate. He swings at the first pitch, hits a high fly ball to right. Wade, the right fielder, back and into the gap, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Williams and Schiavone tied for the postseason RBI lead with 9 apiece. As Jeffrey Hurd comes to the plate. A 2-for-4 day with a walk, but compared to what the rest of the offense has done, Adam, it feels a little bit quiet.
Yeah, you know, for Bethesda tonight,
It's the fastball upstairs to Hurd, a ball and no strikes.
I mean, they have silenced the crowd here in Alexandria. That last inning was frustrating for Aces fans, players, coaches, with the ejections, with
1-0 slider, skips in the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes.
with Schiavone's home run. But you give some credit tonight to the offense for the Big Train, the fans that came out here as well that made the trip down from Bethesda to support this team. I think we all really hope that tomorrow's game at Shirley Povich Field.
2-0 and Hurd chops one high and foul down the first base line.
Yeah, we hope that that ballpark is filled up, and we hope we have another really, really good broadcast as well.
7 p.m. first pitch on the Big Train Baseball Network.
TV, too.
Potentially a chance to clinch. 2-1, and Hurd hits a high fly ball to deep left field. Allen going back, and at the wall, he reaches out, makes the catch before slamming into the fence for out number 3. Hurd hits it hard and far, but Amari Allen makes a really nice catch to end the inning. Big Train 3 outs away from victory. 16-10 their lead. To the bottom of the 9th we go from Alexandria.
watching you when you leave.
They're 3 outs away from victory in Alexandria, 1 inning away. 9-1-2 due up for the Aces. Wade, Nicholson, and Allen to face Austin Morris. Big Train trying to put themselves a game away. First pitch. Wade hits a fly ball to left field. Back goes the left fielder, or to his left as well, and he makes the catch in the left center field gap for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 away in the 9th.
And Morris loves that. A guy who, has been in the game for a little bit now, just trying to get through this lineup quickly and send it to game 2.
Big Train have won game 1 in these LCS series dating back to 2015 4 times. So Nicholson waits at the plate. First pitch home. Fouls the slider off the catcher Schiavone. 0-1. When they have won game 1, they have won the series 3 times. The only time they didn't was a series that never finished. They have never lost a championship series if they win game 1, and they're 2 outs away with a 6-run cushion. 0-1. Nicholson hits a pop-up. First base side. Long run for Guerrero. The first baseman watches it land foul. 0-2.
And right now it seems like the Aces kind of just taking the swing at everything approach, trying to put the ball in play, extend the game. And you know what? Bethesda will take it because they're not making great contact right now off of Morris.
Morris winds and deals on an 0-2. Fastball just upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Now what a game we have had tonight for Chapter 3 of the trilogy between the Aces and the Big Train. 1-2, fastball just below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you like fireworks, what a start to the finale. 2-2. Nicholson fouls it back. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Slider in the dirt outside. Morris slips off the mound. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff man. The umpire had to go grab the baseball. Sal Colangelo, the manager, jokingly fired Owen the bat boy. 3-2. Nicholson takes inside ball 4, flips the bat, and reaches down to first with 1 out. And Amari Allen stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, Nicholson, not the night for the Aces, but Nicholson, fantastic. 3 hits. He's reached base 4 times, a home run shy of the cycle.
So the left-handed bat of Allen stands in. Morris from the stretch. First pitch home. Allen takes outside with a fastball, a ball and no strikes. One out. Allen takes outside again with the fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Morris, 2-0. Swing and a miss from Allen. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, the hope here is trying to work that fastball low in the zone, see if you can get Allen to roll something over, turn 2, and get out of here.
Off of first is Nicholson, 2-1. A fastball right back at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes as it gets the call. Gavin Miller on deck with a 3-hit night. Big Train would love to end it here with 1 out and a runner at first. 2-2. Well up and away with a fastball. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three-two. Allen takes a cold 3rd strike. 1 out away are the Big Train in game 1.
Yeah, that part of the zone with the fastball, Morris is hitting the glove every single time. When he tries to go up in the zone, when he tries to work the breaking ball, he struggles a little bit with the command, but because it's a 6-run game right now, we have 1 out left, Morris can do that. Morris can keep pounding that part of the zone.
First pitch to Miller, and the fastball misses well upstairs. The ball and no strikes to the Auburn product, who continues his red-hot postseason. But tonight, likely in the losing effort. (1-0), runner goes. Miller fouls it back. A ball and a strike.
It's interesting for the Big Train. You know, this is one of those games that you have loved to re-listen to again. Falling behind early after you got out to a 5-0 lead after the top of the first inning.
1-1, runner goes again. It's inside with the slider. No throw from Schiavone. Nicholson able to move over to second. It has been everything you expect between the top 2 teams in this league. Nicholson off again, 2-1. Miller hits a high chopper down the third baseline. In comes the third baseman, Williams. Fields with the glove and pump fake on the throw to first. He just holds on to it. It's an infield hit for Miller. It's a 4-hit day. And over at third stands Nicholson for the pinch hitter, Asa Wilson, who replaces Jonah Oster, who was tossed from the game in the top of the 8th. So Morris will work from the windup with runners at the corners. Miller gets a free head start to second, and the first pitch fastball misses off the inside. A ball and no strikes.
Yeah, Morris just struggling with the command, starting to run out of gas.
1-0. Chopper foul down the third base line. A ball and a strike. Runners at second and third, but the Big Train up 16-10. 3 home runs tonight from Jason Schiavone. He has half the RBIs. 1-1. Fastball well upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Has turned into the everyday catcher, both because of what he can do behind the plate and what he can do with the bat. 2-1. Fastball hits Wilson in the head. He pops up really quickly, and he is not happy. Tosses his batting gloves. Jen Hammond, the acting manager, races to stand between him and the mound. And
yeah, Wilson's not happy, is saying something to the umpire, said something to the dugout. Dugout said something back. It's not something that Morris did intentionally. You know, he's been out there for a long time. He's just trying to get the final out. Wilson, of course, has every right to not be happy. You know, you get hit in the helmet, but
no fun to get your bell wrong. I don't think anyone will debate that. We just hope as the trainer heads out that he's all right. Anytime someone's hit in the head, it's always a scary sight as Craig Lopez heads to the mound to chat with Morris.
Yeah, saying something to the Big Train, you can see Sal Colangelo, he's not happy about it, you know, because we've had a lot of back and forth tonight, a few different warnings, of course, but this is just not one of those where Morris did that intentionally. If it was, Morris already has a warning, he'd be out of here.
And not with 1 out away from victory at this point, but a hard fastball up and in. And Wilson, who is a catcher, just not happy about it. So Matt Austin-Fort to the plate. The lefty with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and takes a fastball upstairs. Did not go on a check swing. A ball and no strikes. At third is Nicholson. At second is Miller. At first is Wilson. From the windup, the 1-0. Fastball just below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Corey Taylor on deck. Nick Gregory to follow if they can get that far. 2-0. Well upstairs with the fastball. 3 balls and no strikes. And Morris frustrated with the lack of command from himself As Sal Colangelo peeks down towards the bullpen. Morris shakes off a couple signs. 3-0. It is a called strike right at the letters. It's 3 balls and a strike with 2 down. 16-10 Big Train, bottom of the 9th. 1 out away from taking game 1 of the championship series. 3-1. Austin Fort hits a high fly ball down the left field line. Back goes the left fielder, Orr reaches up and makes the catch. In Chapter 3 of the trilogy, the Big Train steal game 1 on the road. They head home with a chance to clinch tomorrow night.
Fantastic performance for the Big Train. Jesse Gutierrez didn't get the start that he had hoped for, but Kevin Scully, Austin Morris, the 2 of them, fantastic in relief and has saved the Big Train bullpen, and now they have the chance to go to Shirley Povich Field tomorrow and win it all.
1 game away from returning to the top, trying to take down the defending champs, and the offense showed up in a big way tonight. 16 runs, the most the Aces have allowed since July of 2022. And the regular season champs down to their elimination game